I need to speak to Cynthia and Winston. I need help. I see things.
What kind of things? There is something attached to that rope. Something terrible. But we don't know these people. We can't trust them.
Mom, I'm seeing it.
Starting off, I'd love to just hear how you got involved in this project because your filmography is pretty short for right now. So this is a pretty big role to be taking on, especially with how involved it is.
It was a process. It was amazing. I if you'd asked me a bunch of years ago, like that I'd be doing this, I'd be like, why? What? Why? So it was
Why? I feel
I
bad.
it's not exactly the trajectory I ever predicted for myself, but I loved it. It was so fun and different. And when I got the audition, it was very loose. It was very like, um, what is your interpretation? Reading the script, reading the scenes, what would your interpretation of this monster, of this creature kind of be?
Oh
So it was
wow.
very open-ended, and I'm like, what do I do with that? Okay. And I'm primarily a dancer, and I've only been
Okay.
getting into acting kind of mid-COVID was when I started leaning into that a bit more.
Oh wow.
So when I got this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and use my dancer skill set to help with this. And so I was kind of like, and I was trying to kind of picturing in my own mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lean into kind of like the grudge slash Vecna slash like I kind of had a few references ping ponging in my head of what I wanted to do. But again, it was so open ended. So I was like, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And I sent the audition to my agent and I forgot about it. And then she calls me, she's like, you have a call back. And I'm like, for what? She's like, the monster. I was like, what? Okay, sure, let's do this. And yeah, so when I booked it, it was so fun to kind of like create that language of what that creature is. It was
So cool.
very, yeah, it was very, it was kind of a very collaborative process with Chad to what he wanted, what I felt I could bring to it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, like I said, not on my bingo card.
That's so cool. What kind of dance are you trained in classically? Or not classically, but like what are you
Yeah,
trained in?
I grew up doing everything. And
Okay.
then I was with like a ballet company for a few years, and then I was
Okay.
like, I kind of want to go back to a more commercial route, which would be like more like backup dancing, music videos, things like that. And then I call myself like I'm in my showgirl era right now. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff as well. Yeah, so I kind of picked and prodded about, okay, what movements can I use to help utilize that creature?
I love that you're like I'm in my showgirl phase and want to do like backup dancing and then you play like a disgusting monster. Like I love that so much. Like the duality of woman. I mean, it's so good. We contain
It's
multitude.
every girl has an inner monster inside of her.
Exactly. And you just got to play one, which is like, I just love how often like dancing translates into being a scary monster. Like these beautiful movements that you can use to also create the uncanny. It must have been so cool just to take what you've done your whole life and make it into something different. Like that must have been such a blast.
It was fun. It was very like, yeah, like it was just it was such a crazy process, and being able to and Chad would send me some references as well. He's like, watch this movie, watch this one, kind of like, and we're gonna amalgamate together.
That's
And
so
then
cool because like you don't think about that because it's like you think, oh yeah, you just move as a monster, but you want it to feel so unique and subtle. And I think it is like so much research and practice. I mean, were you like in a studio just practicing how to move at certain points? Like with like how did that work in terms of practicing? You obviously watch things, you collaborate and talk
yeah,
about it, but then what was that like rehearsal process like for you to get into that headspace?
a lot of it also depended on the prosthetics, and I didn't know
Oh
how
yeah.
restrictive. those prosthetics were going to be.
That's a good point. Because your whole
And
body is covered in like as if anyone has
so
not seen, like I want everyone to know, like you don't look anything like you look right now. Let's just put it that way. Like you do not look like
let's
Brooklyn.
just say my castmates have no idea what I actually look like. No one, because I had to get on set 5 hours earlier than everybody else.
Oh,
And
that's
so nobody
true.
saw me. Only my makeup artists saw me before and after. So by the time all the other cast and crew got to set, I was already a monster. So
Oh, what a
nobody,
weirdly isolating experience. You're like, I
it
am
is
not a human. I am only
literally,
monster.
literally. And so that was very funny. And so I am fully covered, but the actual prosthetics, I only had a chest cover, a face, and then they call it a cowl when it covers the back of your head and your neck. So I had
Okay.
face, cowl, chest, and then all of like the veins you see were placed singularly, one at a time, and then I was airbrushed.
Wait, what? You were
It
like
was
full on like body competition show getting airbrushed like to be
literally,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
it wasn't like a suit. It wasn't like a I just zipped into it. Like I had little shorts on and then I had the chest plate and then they would put on all the veins on my arms and legs and then they would airbrush me. Yeah, it was
What?
pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy.
That's wild. So that was
Yeah.
there wasn't even like you had to like wash off your skin like another skin. It wasn't even like you were just zipping on and off a suit. Like you were full like your body was painted. That's wild.
I've
The
learned a
veins
lot of
individually placed is crazy to me. Like
and
that
the
is
the makeup
wild.
artist, like literally I had one girl that was just for my veins because she had to know exactly where to place them every time for continuity and everything. And so they would I had a group of like five, the most amazing special effects women. They are so talented. And it was like this little girl group.
Oh my God, I
And
love
so
that though. You're like you guys are the only ones that see me for who I am.
literally I was like, this is a special coven.
It's
I
perfect
feel
for the
very,
movie too. I mean, like
I
the
feel
vibe. It's
safe
already
here.
such a like a matriarchal vibe in the movie, so you have your own little vibe off camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, that's I mean, like, and this isn't your first movie, right? Is this your first like feature? Or, I'm sorry, just
No, of course. I think it might be actually. I was just
I
thinking
think it
about
is. I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking your IMDb. I'm like, wow, what a wild first feature to be like. All right, 5 hours of getting covered in paint and makeup.
Yeah, and it would depend day to day. So some days we only did like half body.
Okay, yeah.
And so those days would only take maybe like 3-ish hours. And then if both we did a full body day, I would be in makeup for at least 6 hours before stepping on set. And
And
then I
like
go on.
you can't like watch. Are you just like in the zone? Like you can't watch anything. Like how do you like what do you do for those 6 hours? You just like dissociate? What is that like in the makeup chair?
Literally dissociate is the perfect word because I remember listening to an interview with Jim Carrey when he was talking about getting into the Grinch. And he
Yes.
said it's like 8 hours. And he's like, you kind of just learn to, it's almost like meditating. Like you kind of have to just, and I would kiki with like my makeup artist for a bit and like we'd have fun and everything.
Yeah.
But once you're 3 hours in, you kind of just, and it's not relaxing. Like I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't read. I couldn't do any of that because people are like touching you and poking and prodding you. So I had to get I got pretty comfortable with it, but that dissociation of like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and breathe and kind of be calm and whatever, because once you're in it, right? Like so
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because again, like, and it's your face. It's again, like, you can't like watch something or have something in your ears. Like everything is like your face, so there isn't anything. Like, wow. So
Yeah.
then, what was it like on set? You're in the full, like the prosthetics and makeup, and you're ready to go. What was that like for you then to really bring the creature to life?
I mean, having that makeup on helps. You kind of just I found it pretty easy to channel because it was so alien. It was so otherworldly. And like I also had these like long nails that they would put on every time.
Yeah.
So being able to like kind of like do these weird movements with my hands and have it be so accentuated already. And and then once you're on the set and they're like, okay, this is what you're doing, it's like, ooh, okay, I found it fairly easy to kind of slip into that entity that's just like dark and hovering. And it obviously would depend how far we were and what we were shooting. Because by like the end scenes, it is dramatic.
Oh, it's
So,
so cool. You have like your
but
oh everything at the end. You're just like, I am the that bitch. Like, and it's just so cool and
yeah,
gross and great.
gross is the perfect word, especially that last scene. I was so goopy, like something that I've when I've shown pictures to friends and family, they're like, you're so wet looking, like you're so like, and I'm like, yep, because I was. They put like they would airbrush me and then they would put literally it's called like monster goop. It's like a jar. The special effects girls have it. It's a jar and they just went and like so I'm just like wet.
Or
And then
the
there's the scene where I'm on the chair and I lift my hand up and all that stream.
yes. Oh, it was so good. Oh,
Yeah.
how long did
So,
that take to wash off your body?
so
You still
um
washing it off today?
yeah, and you learn some cool tricks from the special effects girlies about like what's gonna work to take it off because there's so many different paints and adhesives and things that are stuck. Like, you know, when you like have tape on you, like from a band-aid or something, and you take it off and then all those little black fuzzies are still there or whatever.
Yeah.
That was my entire body for like a month and a half. Um, so I
Perpetually sticky, just like a little bit sticky.
sticky and painted and I went to the dentist. This is funny. I went to the dentist I think a week or two after we'd wrapped and there's a scene where they put blood in my mouth. And so there's different types of special effects blood. And so mouth blood is a bit more like viscous and it's gross. It tastes like mint. Which is nice. Um, but so I had a scene with all this mouth blood, and I went to the dentist, and they were like, "What have you been? Have you been eating something?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, oh my God, it's the blood." And they're like, "Okay, we're just gonna clean that up." I'm like, "Thanks." It's like, I didn't know. Yeah,
Like, how do you even explain? You're like, well, guys,
I'm like, so I'm a monster.
wow. Would you do this again though? Would you do monster work again?
I would be so down. It was just so different than anything I've ever done. And it was such a fun process and such a long process. Like some days were very, very long. Like any film set days are long anyways, but specifically the special effects part of it. But it was so cool. And finally getting to see it, like how it looked and how I looked to everybody else because I'd be doing scenes. And I remember one of the younger girls, Shaylin, who plays the daughter, she was like, she asked production, she's like, can I go meet her before we go on set? Because she was scared. She was like, I want to know who she is before I go onto set because I know I'm like gonna be a bit freaked out. And so when she came into my room, I had my picture loaded of like what I actually look like. I'm like, this is me underneath, like just so you know, like we're good. And so I tried to always be like fun and bubbly when I'm doing a scene with any of the actors because I didn't want them to be freaked out. I didn't want them to be scared of working with me. Because I think if I had to be them staring at me, I would have been like,
Like, I know you're not a monster, but you look like it, and it's freaking me, especially younger. Like, I know like kids are smart, but it's still scary, especially when you're a younger actor, being like, all right, I just need to know in my head that you are a real
a human,
person, a
literally,
human.
absolutely.
So how long were you filming? How long were you on set?
I think I think they were filming for about a month or a month and a half, and I was on set for about half of it. Like
Okay, wow. Yeah,
I
wow.
was there a lot. I was there a lot. And because they were shooting on location and everything, so yeah, it was a lot. It was a
Um,
good June. It was a good June.
hell yeah. Well, so were you a horror person before this? Like, were you a horror movie fan? Okay, not at all. So you got thrown into the deep end to watch horror movies to research
Yeah,
and that kind of thing? Okay.
I feel like I've always liked horror movies in the sense of like it's a mystery. Like, ooh, why are
Yeah.
these happening? And I find that very intriguing. I'm a little baby. I get scared so easily. And so I've told like my friends are like, we can't wait to see it. Oh my God. And I'm like, even when I watched, I was like,
I
no.
love that's my favorite. People who like aren't horror people play the scariest characters and are like, I have a hard time watching myself. And I'm like, I love it. It's so good.
Literally. Yeah.
That's well, do you have a newfound I'm assuming you now have a newfound appreciation, even if you aren't like a big genre watcher now, I'm assuming you have a different appreciation now that you've been on the other side of the creature making process.
Absolutely. And especially
So
like,
cool.
I can't imagine some of those older horror films where they're doing some of those crazy costumes and outfits and stuff. And I'm like, the process of special effects has gotten so much better. And I'm like, I can't imagine
And you're
10
still
years.
sitting there for 6 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's still a
Absolutely.
ridiculous process. And yeah, it's amazing. It's such a beautiful art. And you got to get to like experience that and become that art is such a cool experience as a performer to like really get to understand that.
Yeah. I
Oh yeah. Well,
think it's one of
Brooklyn,
the
this
best
was
things you can get.
yeah. No,
I mean, like,
I know.
I'm not actually a monster, and there's no possibility of me trying to be like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, this is
Yeah.
about method as I can be as in immersing myself into
So
it.
cool. Like what an awesome experience as an actor and like getting to have it so early in your acting career too. That's cool as hell. Well, and you really do make this movie so freaky. I mean, it's awesome. So, Brooklyn, I really appreciate you chatting with me about this whole process. It's so cool to get to hear about it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't
Okay.
wait to see it. It's
I
it's a
know.
it's a good and regardless of if you like horror or not, it's actually just a really good movie. Like it's a good story and
It's
the
all gas, no brakes, is how I describe it. I feel like it starts and then it doesn't stop. Like when I was watching it, I was like, I'm sorry, what is happening? Like it just keeps going. And I love that though, because supernatural horror movies can be a slow burn, but like I said, it's all gas, no brakes. This one.
definitely. And you just the monster just gets more and more evident. Like it's very subtle at the beginning and then I'm everywhere.
And then you're everywhere. Then you are quite literally everywhere.